Here with Christian Craft Paper, and today we have some brand new releases. The theme this month is Flourish in His Grace, and it's all things flowers. It's all things flowers. So if you are a flower lover, a floral connoisseur, if you will, today is the day for you because we've got all of the flowers. Now, there was three items that we just dropped, and these are crafting bases. So today we're going to really focus on putting the bases together. We have worked with a bunch of these styles before, and so if you followed us for a little bit, you probably already know how to do the tiles and the inserts and everything. So I have some pre-made here that we're going to pop in here because today we're just going to focus on putting these together and some creative ideas for doing so. Let me go over here real quick to make sure that I can see the chat on there, and we're going to get started. So there was three brand new ones that dropped. The first one is the Mary Magdalene. So this is Mary Magdalene version 2. If you remember version 1, we had roses in it. And this one we have done the flower cutouts, and then we have included the little cutouts in the actual frame as well. So you have 32 extra little stars that you can use in here for any project. Who doesn't need little embellishments at all times to add the perfect little sweet touch to a project? Because I know I do. Hey, Miss Dorothy from Illinois. Hey, Pam. Good to see you popping on. So this is the first one that we did, or that we launched this week. And then I'll show you the second one. The second one has two different versions. So we have our pop and swap frames, and these are floral planters. So we have two different versions. You can get the 2-pack, which is the most economical, or you can, if you have a favorite, you can just get the one, or you can get multiples of just the one. But we have two different versions here. So there's ones that I think it says the floral version and the plain version. So this is right here is the floral version. This is the plain version. I have mocked one of these up today. I'm going to actually craft this one today. So we'll be doing this one on the live. This one I've already prepped a bunch of the pieces, but we're going to put it all together so you can see how it works. When you get them, they are like this, all the way put together. And then when you open it, you're going to have multiple pieces depending on which frame you get. So that's why I want to show you how to put them together and how to prep them. So we're going to be doing this one today. I'm going to be doing a texture technique using my seafoam sponge here with a couple colors. I also prepped a Crackle so we can see that. And I'm going to be doing show Crackle 2 ways today. And then the third thing is our toppers. So if you have some of the not older, they were like last month, but the spring pop and swap frames, we did the mason jar. I don't know if I can legally say that. We did a jar. And then we also did I have my finger in the right spot. We also did the watering can, and they have the floral toppers that go in them, right? So these toppers fit in the planners. So I'm going to show that today also. And then we have the new toppers that fit. I think this one's actually a little too big. I think this is a good size for this one, this smaller one. So this fits right in the top there. So I will show you these first because I've already actually prepped these. And then I'll show you in the new one. So I did them 2 ways. Hey, Cindy and Lisa. I did this one that is actually decoupaged on the back. And then I did this one that I just painted with the markers. So with the decoupage, again, it's very simple. I'm not going to demonstrate this today, but I just did the antique wax over the whole flower. So just my Dixie Belle antique wax in brown. And then on the back, you're just going to do the whole back with Mod Podge. And then this is actually our rice paper from our Fall Into His Piece rice paper 4-pack. I have one of the designs on that one. It was this sheet here. I just used this bottom corner. So you do your Mod Podge on there, let it dry, put your rice paper on there, and just iron it. And then I just sanded it all the way around the outside. This one's a great project to use the precision sanding stick because you can get in all these little edges here. In fact, I'm like seeing that I missed that little spot right there. But you can get in there and get all the little edges nice and fine. So anything that has corners like this is really the tool that you want to get in there with. But that's all I did on that one. So that is another option. Instead of just using it as a see-through piece, you could actually just decoupage on the back of it, any pattern. I just happened to grab this one. But I could see all kinds of fun prints that you could put behind that one that would be super cute. Hey, Susan and Sandy. Miss Monique is here. Hello. Thank you for the sprinkles. So that's how I did these two. Let me get this out of the way so you can see. So that's how I did these two. I did this one, and then this one I just used my paint markers. Because it's so fine, you could paint it, but I just thought it's easier with the paint markers, especially I have the ones that have the dual tips. So it has the fat tip and then the thinner tip. And so I was able to get in all the little details. But that's just a couple ideas of how you could do the actual flowers. And these are sold as a 2-pack. Don't forget, if you're a member, to use your discount code at checkout, because members don't pay full price on the new releases. And so that's these ones. So those are the new toppers. We'll revisit those again once our pots are done so we can see them in the new pots. But that was release number 3. So moving into what we're going to work on today, I think the very first thing I'm going to do is finish this frame because I have prepped the Mary Magdalene version 3 here. And I will show you what I prepped with. I'm wondering if I need to do that or I need to... Actually, let's go back and forth because I need things to dry in between. So I'm already lost. Okay, we're going to do this one next. This piece right here is your base piece. You don't really have to do anything to it unless you want this to be a solid color when you're popping the tile in and out. I'm actually not going to pay no mind to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep this piece first because we're going to be doing some layers and I want it to dry. So I'm going to be using the French linen again. I'm giving French linen another go. This was the folk art home decor paint that I got from Hobby Lobby. So far, I'm not a fan. If you guys were in the experience last month, I used it on something and I was not as impressed as I was hoping to be. And we were kind of discussing how it's a little disappointing that Hobby Lobby doesn't have a better selection of chalk paint. There's just not a lot of colors and it's only this brand. And what I'm noticing is this brand is just a little thin than what I'm used to working with the Waverly or even I think the other one I have is Hello Hobby, which Hello Hobby I got at Walmart a long time ago. I don't think they carry that brand anymore. But that's what I'm just noticing, that this paint just seems to be a little bit on the thinner side. We might have to do a couple coats. And your girl's just impatient. So you can kind of see it's a little bit watery. But we're going to be texturing this. We're adding some texture to it. So I think it's okay that it gets a little, if it's a little thin. We have a little thing. Yes, Carmen, the toppers can be purchased separately. As far as you can't purchase the individual flower separately, it's a 2-pack. Maybe the answer is no. Sorry. We just have them as a 2-pack, so you can't pick one flower. If that's what you mean, we just have them as the 2-pack currently. We've never actually had anyone request that on the flowers. But you don't have to purchase a frame to get them, is what I meant by no. Or yes. I don't know if you know. I'm lost already. Hi, this is Cindy. So we're just going to do one light coat of this. I say one. We're going to have to go back and do a second light coat. Typically with the Waverly, one coat works. But this one is a little thin. And I don't want to see the wood through it. So I'm going to go back through. Just make sure as you're painting, if you get it on the inside of the circle, we've got to keep that pretty clean because otherwise our tile is not going to pop in and out if there's like blobs of paint in there. But I'll show you how to fix it if that happens, because let's be real, sometimes it happens. All right, so we're just going to, this is just, again, this color's Linen by Folk Art. Kind of like a dirty white, a grayish, if you will. Okay, so we've got that. Dorothy says she's loving the braids today. Girl, this is I don't want to do my hair. I don't have time to do my hairdo. braids and a hat. Hide it all, right? I know, I even thought this morning, I'm like, I don't know that I've done too many of the public lives in a hat. I'm like, I don't know how professional that is, but also just living life over here. So we do what we got to do, right? All right, so I'm just taking a damp rag and I'm just going in there while it's still wet and just cleaning out that inside because, again, we don't want any paint blobbed up in there. And this is also how you can, if you've gotten paint on the edges, you can come through and clean it off real quick before it dries so that you can still have your nice kind of burnt edge. So generally I like to do that catch it before it dries if possible. If not, we just take the sander to it and we go over it lightly. Okay, I think we got it. All right, we're gonna let this guy dry over here before we do our next layer there. I don't know why I'm trying to put that very far because you know I'm gonna need it. Oh, you just wanted more of the sunflowers. At this time we don't, Carmen, but we may be able, if we have more people that just want the sunflowers, to be able to do a 2-pack of just the sunflower. That's a great idea. So I will talk to the powers that be, my husband, who cuts everything, and see if we can make that happen. Okay, so we've got that on there. The next thing, we're going to switch over back to the Mary Magdalene. Okay, so all I did with the Mary Magdalene so far is I took my Dixie Belle Antique Wax in brown, and I did the whole frame. Now you want to do the side, one side has a line in it. You don't want to do that side. That's going to be your downside. And that line is to help you line up your back. Okay, so that's just telling you where to put the back. So we don't want that side. We want the opposite side. And then I also covered the topper with the same brown. And I did that because I'm going to crackle it. Now, after I did the Dixie Belle on both of these, then I went in with the Dixie Belle Crackle. So this, you have to mix it up really well, and then you're going to paint a coat on. You can be kind of generous with the paint. You don't want it too thick, so, but you also don't want it super thin, okay? So right in the middle. I know that's like nondescript. Sorry about that, but that's kind of how it is. You kind of just get a feel when you're working for it. And then I did put it on a piece of paper and let it dry. And then I did notice it stuck to the piece of paper, like in a couple spots, which is fine. So I just sanded that off so we don't have any issues with it sticking. I don't even know what that is. Sand that off. So any place that it did that, you can just turn around and sand off. And the reason we had some kind of bleed through is because you have all of these little flowers in there. So as you're painting it, it kind of might blob through, and that's fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come over it with the plaster. So I've got the Crackle on there. It's been sitting for a couple hours. When I did this with the members, the last time I worked with this Crackle, I let it sit overnight. Oh no, that was last week with you guys. I was thinking it was members. I'm getting everything confused. I let it sit overnight. This time I did not let it sit overnight. So we're going to see how it works out, not sitting overnight as compared to sitting overnight. So we're just going to take our brush and our color that we're going to come over, and we're going to go through and we are going to just put the light coat of paint all the way over it, okay? Now this may or may not work because, again, it is Dixie Belle, and I didn't let it sit overnight. We don't overwork it. I know that's part of the key with using the Crackle and even the glue. We want a light cover on there, or enough of a coat that it's on there, but we don't want to blob it. And also you have to be careful with these flowers because we don't want our flowers like full of paint either. And I've gotten a couple spots where I can see the paint's kind of blobbing in there a little bit. That's okay. We can come through and clean those out. So I'm just kind of dabbing the paint and just working in small sections at a time. So the flowers can be fun, but the flowers can be a little challenging too. But as long as we just keep working in little small sections, we should be okay. And I'm just working on my piece of paper here so I don't get my paint colors all over everything because I will be switching stuff back and forth. So I'm just going to keep working all the way around. Just little sections. We also have had a request for the flowers last night. We were just discussing. We're going to be doing word flowers without the base for those of you that want to use them on other things like layering on your signs and things. So we have had that request and we are working on those. We had a few patterns last night that we were looking at. So my husband got that as a top priority. And then I also had some fun ideas already. He's like designing the flowers and figuring out how to make them. And I'm already figuring out what we can make with them. Hey, Miss Lucy. Cindy said she had the same issue with the folk art and ended up doing 3 coats on some things. She's not going to order any more of it. I know, it is really sad. I honestly thought it would be a higher end brand. I don't know why. Maybe because of the cost and the fact that I got it at Hobby Lobby, but it is not the case. I'm very disappointed, actually. Okay, this is already crackling on me, so that is great news. It's already crackling as we go around. So that's it. Just, again, you just kind of saw light dabs. We don't have to go super crazy on it. Have a light hand. We're going to hit this with the heat gun so we can bring out that crackle a little bit more, and then we can go in and clean up any of the paint issues. Okay, for the most part, I have got it dry. Now, to get the paint out, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. I don't think a Q-tip is going to fit in there. So what I'm actually going to do is come in here with a paintbrush and pull through the paint. So if you have areas that you kind of got the paint gummed up in there a little bit, we can bring in, I might actually need a bigger one. It's like the benefits of having a bunch of paintbrushes. I'm coming through and I'm pulling it to the back just to get out if you have like any blobs, because we know the blobs are going to happen. Well, I said I was going through the back, but I think it might actually be easier to go through the front. And so again, just any of these areas where the paint kind of piled up, you can just come in here, clean it up a little bit. I actually expected it to be far worse than it is. So I'm going to do this and then I'm going to hit it with the heat gun one more time. And I will show you the crackle here in a minute. I'm not sure how well you can see it from the overhead. So again, just any areas where it kind of caught up in those. I'm going to rinse this again. Hey, Miss Kathy. Carrie said it would be fun to craft with. She loves using tiny wood pieces to accent her projects. Yeah, these little flowers are so fun. I'm actually not using them on anything today, but I will be using them in the future. And then we also have we're working on some floral cutouts where you'll have the little pieces to make your own flower. But they're not quite ready yet. So that's going to be another upcoming release. All right, I've almost made it all the way around here, people. Thank you for being patient. I didn't know I was going to be this messy. I don't know why I didn't think I was going to be this messy, because y'all know I get a little blobby. But you can see it's coming out easy. It's just a little tedious. All right, I think I've got the bulk of them. One more over here that's drying. Okay, not too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, honestly. Okay, let me get this off here. Let's hit it with the heat gun one more time. So any of the others, oops, I see one more. Hold on. Just as you get into it, I see it like a few more. Once you get to the it drying, you can see them a little bit better. Okay, so I'll try to hold it up, see if you can see the crackle very well. I don't know, it might be easier for you to see it this way. I have to get my head out of the way, I think, maybe so it focuses. Is it focusing? I don't know. It's supposed to focus on my face. Technology, I swear. Hopefully you can see it. I'll take a picture when I'm done so you can get like a much better view. But the crackle is turning out good. It's a very fine crackle. So the next thing that we need to do is we do need to make sure that on the inside of this, because same thing as the round one, we got to make sure we don't have any paint blobs in the inside here. And especially where we've done like a layer, where we've done paint and we've done crackle. If we don't get all of the blobs out of the inside, then our frame isn't going to fit in there, okay? It's going to catch. And that's when people have issues with the frame not fitting. It's because we've blobbed some paint stuff in there. The only other thing is we probably want to clean the outside. So I did get a little messy on the outside here. So I'm just going to come through here and we'll sand this off as well. And from here, we're ready to put this one together. So I'm just going to lightly go over the outsides because I did get super blobby. Which, you know, when you're doing layers, especially with the crackle, it does get hard to get no blobs. Okay, and then the only other thing that I want to do is on the back, I want to make sure I get any, because we did kind of push those chunks through, right? I just want to make sure that I get any blobs on the back because I don't want it to have a problem sticking. If we've got chunks of paint, we're going to get those off too. All right. All right, I think she's ready. Okay, so we are going to start assembling her. Got like one little, what's happening right there? Perfection is happening. Struggling. Could the great wood carver make some leaves? Monica, we can make it happen. I know he can do it. Okay, so we are going to assemble these. So remember, we have our line here. This is how we know where to put the back. So I'm just going to do a thin layer all over. We'll definitely be coming up with some leaves and stuff for fall, Monica. So yes, that for sure is in the works. We go to fall starting next month. July. No. Just kidding, August. I almost gave away what we were doing. No, July is next month is Christmas, and then we go into August. We have fall. So we can definitely do some leaves and things for August. Okay, I'm going to press this one down here. And then I'm going to flip it over. So now you can see we've got that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our topper on here. So I'm going to do the glue on here, and then I do have some clamps for this one. So with the glue, I like to focus on the corners for sure, and then like the middle parts. So with that, the outside we could kind of go all the way over the edge, but for the inside, we have to kind of stick to these areas where I don't want the glue to come up through the flowers, but I also want to make sure that it has some good contact points. Watch your strings because they'll sneak up on you. So again, just make sure you get it somewhere in the middle. There's no rhyme or reason. I think I'm just gonna put some in between where I can here on these, strings. And then I do like to let this one sit in definitely probably overnight, and we're gonna clamp it. Okay, so we'll bring the base back over here. And again, make sure you don't have any of your strings. So if you've got strings in between your flowers, you won't be able to get them out after you put them down. All right, and then we're using the multi-purpose glue, one, so we can move it around as needed when we get it on here. And two, so that it sticks like permanently. Okay, so we want to make sure we have the edge should line up exactly on the outside, and the edge on the inside should line up exactly. And I always get he always gives me the wonky pieces to work with so that the good pieces get shipped to you guys. So this one is just a little bit, it's lifting a little bit, the wood's a little bit bowed. So what we're going to do, which can happen too in transit, especially if you are in a humid area. So if you ever get any type of wood that ends up just bowing on you just a little bit, it shouldn't be super noticeable. That's where you're going to want to use these clamps and get everything down. And then if you put it on your counter, and then you can move everything. And then also should have made sure before, but we did good. Just make sure before we clamp it that our back is lined up good. But everything there is lined up, sealed. It should be solid all the way around. So at this point, I would just let it set, ideally overnight, and then it's ready to do all your pop and swap fun. So for right now, we're just going to put it aside and let it set, and then we'll come back and mess with it later, and hopefully it's set a little bit more. I'm going to take a drink of water. Monica says she cannot wait for all the fall projects. Hi, Miss Cindy. Layla got her order in. Yeah, girl. So I need to fix yours, right? Remind me. Layla loves the name The Great Wood Carver. I know it's like the Great Pumpkin, right? Okay, let's bring this guy back. And with this one, I am wanting to do, I'm kind of going fall here. So I'm going to do a sponge pattern with the brown, and I'm going to do the brown for this piece. And I think I'm going to do yellow for this piece because my vision was to use this one. So I think that's what we're going to do. So with that, again, I'm not going to do anything to the base piece. We do need to paint this, and we need to paint this, and then we need to texture that. So let's paint this first. And I used all of my paintbrushes on the first one, so we're going to have to do some rinse and repeat. Monica said she was using her E6000 yesterday and exploded on her. Oh my gosh. It was such a mess to get off the bird frame. She had to take all the paint and napkin off and start from scratch again. Girl, that's why I'm worried about mine, because I'm right at that spot. Like I was noticing, like right here, there's glue on the outside of this thing, which means there's a hole somewhere. Glue right here too. So that is one of the reasons I stopped using it. However, I do have another one here, but I don't know. This one's just been easier on my hands, so I'm just keeping using that one. But yeah, making an E6000, like we fight. We fight. All right, thin layer of the brown. Same brown I'm going to be using for the texture. This is Truffle by Waverly. I think. Pretty sure it's Truffle. Yeah, Truffle. You know, I went to Walmart the other day and I got more paint. But then I swear, like when I get to the store to look at the paints, I'm like, nothing's standing out to me. Like I come on here all the time and I'm like, I need more paint. But like when I got there, I was just like, I feel like all the ones I like I have. Maybe I need to go online and see about like a sample set, like where you get a bunch of these little bottles with different samples. I did see some Dixie Belle colors that I really want, but I know Dixie Belle prices kind of scare me a little bit, but I'm kind of in the place where I really want those colors. They have like, I think the Waverly does a good at the brighter farmhouse colors, but if you want like a deeper red, a deeper green, a deeper blue, like deeper colors, I feel like you got to go to Dixie Belle from what I'm noticing. All right, I'm going to just take a little stick to scoop out the paint we need to do the blotchy. Okay, Layla, yes, I will check your order. All right, I'm getting my paint. Elizabeth! Hey, girl, I haven't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well. So we're just going to get any of the little spots that we went over the edge because you saw I got a little messy. All right, we'll let that dry. And I kind of wiped a little bit of the paint off here, but it's okay because we're going to edge it anyway. Okay, so we just need a little bit of this truffle. Hopefully we don't have a zebra repeat. No guarantees, guys, because per usual, I have not done this before, so we just need a very little bit of brown paint. We don't need a ton. Now these sponges, you are supposed to get wet before you use them. So I'm just going to get it a little damp. I like this one because it has like a lot of pokey. Like when you get the bag, like these are the ones I get. I got them from Amazon, but there'll be like a whole bunch of different kinds. So like this one's a different texture. Like it's just natural. So you get just like random pieces, but this one has like all the little pokies. So I haven't used any of these other ones. So I just like the little pokes. All right, so we've got that in there. We're going to dab it in our brown. And then because I learned my lesson last week, we're going to, okay, yeah, we're good. We're going to go through here and just kind of hit it with our, and I feel like we could probably build up some colors with this. All right, so there's brown. I feel like we could probably we can put some black in that and give it some depth. So let's get the black. We'll get another popsicle stick. Ooh, Kathy just received a message that her pop-in spots are coming. Yes, Nidia has been, well, both of them actually have been, my husband's frantically cutting and she's been packing and shipping as soon as they come off the laser. So like literally hot off the laser. But we love it. We love it. That's what we're here for. My husband's like so excited. The funny thing is the flowers were literally like a last minute thing. He was making them. He designed them the night the email, like the night before the email went out to the members. In fact, I already had the email written and he was like, hey, we could do something like this. And I was like, well, you have to do them tonight because that email is going out. Like we can't wait on it. So he was like, oh, okay. So then we were up to like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, getting the design done, getting the pictures, redoing the email so that you guys had them. And they have ended up being like the top seller from the 3 drops. So I'm glad that we just went with it because they, y'all are loving them. You're loving them. Okay. So you can see now we've got some nice like texture on this where it looks more like a cement pot kind of that you would get. So that's going to be as much as we're going to do with that. Let's go ahead and do our little topper frame here. Now for these, I really like using the marker. because one, you get control. And I'm just realizing I did both the same yellow. This is the same yellow that I'm going to use, but it's all right. You guys don't care, right? Nobody's going to know. All right. So with these, like, it's nice because you can just take the marker. We don't have to worry about any over blobs. So I just kind of take the fat end and I'm just going to drag it out, and then we can just go along the inside. And these are the Magi paint pens, Magi. I have tried multiple pens. These ones are my favorite. And I like these ones that have the both ends, because sometimes you need that fine tip and to get, especially when I was doing those flowers. And then for these larger spaces, we need the fat tip. But they cover good. They don't like flake or pool. The color's solid. Some of the other ones I tried, the wood would you would touch it and the wood would soak out and it would splinter. These don't do that. For these, it's almost like the paint stays on top of the wood instead of soaks into the wood. And it might be because of the thickness. Like if it's a watery marker, then that color is just going to go in and kind of bleed into your project. And that's not what we want. Well, if you like that look, but that's not what I was looking for. I wanted just a solid color. So you can see there's only going to be there might be a couple spots where once it dries, it pulls in a little bit and you've got some wood showing. You can just go back and touch it up. Super easy. So we're going to put that aside. I'm going to come back with this now that it's dry, and I am going to just kind of roughen up the edges here. So just all the way around. So it doesn't look so new. And then we're going to do the same thing with the pot. So we'll just come through here and catch the edges. And this is kind of a preference. You don't have to do this. I like to do it to the inside of the circle too. You can see we've got sand going everywhere. All right, there we go. We don't have to worry about this part so much because this is all going to cover that. I kind of have a little cheese spot here. I'm going to work with it because I like it. So if you want to take certain parts of it and get more of it, then you get this little kind of personality. I like personality. So you just come in there a little bit harder in some areas. There we go. A little dimension. All right. So cute. So basically you can see as we're coming together, this is kind of what we're looking like. This is what we're working with. I think we're ready to, I wanted to do the edge. I am going to do the edge of this one. For these ones, I just kind of lay it down and go along the tips, and then we'll go along the inside. If you want to get more distressed on the petals than just the tips, that's when you're going to want to come in with your precision sanding stick, and you can get these edges. I'm not going to fight them. So I'm just going to do the inside and just the little tips of the flower petals. And then I think we're ready to glue this one together. And then I'm going to show you how to glue the other one together, because the other one, I'll show you what I did to the other one to get the look that I got. All right, scooching everything out of the way. Kathy says he does a great job with the cutouts, and they're absolutely amazing getting things out. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Where did I get the Magic paint pens? I got them on Amazon. If you go to my favorite things, there is a link. They're linked in there because I actually had to link multiple pens as I found better ones. I erased the link and put the new one, so that link's in there. It shows another brand. Monica, no. Okay, I'll fix the link as soon as I get off here because no, you don't want to buy another brand. I have a whole bin over here of markers. I don't even, can you see them? All of these. This is one brand, 3 brand, and then these ones are the Magi. So that was my 4th, and you guys, they aren't cheap. So I had to go through 3 different ones to find the good ones. So yeah, I don't want you getting the wrong ones. So I will fix that when I get off of here. Because, yeah, ain't nobody got time for cruddy paint pens. For sure. All right, we're just going to cover this guy. And then, same thing, we're just going to line everything up. Get it down. Make sure that we are, always pop it up so you know that your bottom is flat. We'll do that again once we get, like, done, but... Also, to make sure we did it, but just make sure this part is sanded out good so that your topper fits in and out. And then for this one, I just put the glue on this part here. Instead of on this, because that way I know where the glue needs to go. Ooh, she moving. All right, and then I did have some glue scooch out. So you're just going to take your transfer tool and make sure you clean it off your transfer tool after you use it like this. I need my clamps for this one. All right. So if you have any glue to squish out, that's what you're going to do. And then let's get the topper on, and then we can see if we can need to clamp it. All right, for this topper, I'm just going to hit some of these petals. And we are going to have strings, so I'll just clean out the strings before I put it down. I'm kind of going like every 2. That should be good. Again, we've got lots of strings in here, so just make sure we get all our strings out. And then we're going to line it up. Again, because this is where the frame goes, we want to make sure that we get it lined up and we don't have any glue coming out the inside. So I do see some coming out, so we're just going to take our scraper and get it off. Usually you can kind of see where it's bubbling. Make sure everything is in there. Yes, okay. Carefully test a tile because you don't want it to move on you, but generally you can feel. All right, I think we are good. The only thing is to make sure before you let it set, because I messed this up on the one last time, is just make sure that this topper didn't slide down. Everything should be, before we just let it be, we want to make sure everything is angled correctly. All right, we're going to let her be. And then I'm going to show you, we're going to do the same thing with the other one. We're going to put it together. So this is the plain one. And then this one is the flower one. So what I did on this one, kind of show you, because my vision was I wanted the flowers to be different colors in the holes. So all I did was I took the blank one and I just took a popsicle stick and I lined it up in between where the flowers were. So I knew make sure they're lined up together. So I knew kind of where the break was. Actually, I think it was this way. I can tell by where the lines are. So I just lined it up right here because this is where the break was. And I just took a pencil or a pen and I just did a line. Each one. Line, line, line. And then I just took my markers and I just colored in between the lines. And you don't even have to get it all the way to the line because you're not going to see it. So then when we put it on there, it's going to be like so. So let's go ahead and glue her. Layla, they go live to Facebook and YouTube. So on YouTube, it'll be up there forever. Oh, thank you, Wanda. Are the flowers pop and swap? I don't understand the question, sweetie. These ones are from this is a pop and swap frame. All right, I got a lot of glue. I got a lot glue there. I'm going to have to scrape some of that glue off because I know that's going to bubble, but I'm just going to go in between here. And again, if you get a little bit too much, just do a little scrape. Just make sure you clean your tool off because it will want to stay forever. And then the only other thing is I see I got a string here. So just make sure you get any strings. All right, so we will push this one together. So cute. Oh, and then I'm getting the glue that I'm wiping off onto my arm. Annika says that's cute. And yeah, these are pop and swap frames, sweetie, if that's what you mean. And then for this one, I did the teal that I have. I think this one is that. Yeah, this is the Hello Hobby, the one I just mentioned I used to get at Walmart. So this is aqua. And then I did glue. I did the glue crackle method. So I painted the teal, let it dry, did the light coat of glue, 5 minutes, and then come over it with the plaster from Waverly. And so you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, like if you saw the crackle close up, you can tell this crackle that I use with the glue almost seems like line crackle. And the crackle with the Dixie Belle crackle almost seems like chunky square, not squares, but more of a uniform chunky square. There's not those lines that you get with the Elmer's glue. So just kind of, it really is a preference on what kind of look you want, but that's kind of what I've noticed. And it's probably because of the way that I drag the brush with the glue. But I did the brush the same way with the Dixie Belle crackle, but for whatever reason, the way that it dries more uniform. So those would be the two differences in the, I'm trying to see if it will focus on the crackle. Hold on, let me wait. It's not really focusing, but you can kind of tell a little bit. But I wanted to show you the two different options. So same here, we're going to go ahead and glue this one on. I do have some chunks of paint here. So just make sure if you have some chunks of paint on the back, we want to get rid of those because we don't want anything to get in the way of our glue. And same thing, we're just going to glue this down to the top, and then we'll glue everything together. All right, so we just put this one right on here. And then I did edge with the sanding tool, I did edge everything. Although I'm realizing I didn't edge my flower, so I'm going to do that next. All right, for here, we're going to do the same thing. I'll put the glue on the actual top. Yeah, I was hoping it was going to turn out with the different colored flowers. You could also decoupage behind this too. Like if you had a hymnal or something else you wanted, you could decoupage that. Okay, give it a good pinch. Make sure that thing's on there. And then I'm actually going to set that like that over to the side while we do this real quick. So I do like the roughed up look. We could come in here with some antiquing too. I'm a little bit scared. Maybe we try it. So I feel like this flower could use a little more dimension. So let's do it. I'm feeling adventurous. We've had good luck so far. Okay. Get this. I have to wash my mat after this one because I got all kinds of stuff over it. All right, what are we doing? We're antiquing. All right, I'm not going to add any more to the brush because I've already got some on the brush. And I kind of just want to hit these edges. where I scraped it off. Trying to have a gentle hand. See me trying to have a gentle hand? I'm like, it's restraint. It's the face of restraint. Ooh. All right, so far so good. I haven't chunked it. All right, now here's the part that scares me. I kind of want to do the inside, but I don't want to get too much. Kind of have to use like the lightest hand. I think I'm like giving birth or something. I don't know why this is so stressful and scary. Probably because I end up chunking this stuff all the time where I'm like, oh, I just got a big blob, you know. All right, just doing light drags. Again, I didn't add any to the brush. We're almost there. All right, I feel like Top Chef. No, hands off. All right. I am going to go with my rag and just kind of get smooth it out, get any extra off. All right, I'm glad I did that. It did add more dimension because if you can see like this one that we worked on, this one has nothing on the outside. And so you can kind of see a little bit of difference there. It'll be easier to tell in the pictures. Okay, we're going to grab this thing again and we're going to put our topper on here. My glue is bubbling up on its own. All right. So again, just kind of alternate some of the petals. I think every other is a little bit overkill. I went a little cray-cray last time. All right, that looks good. I'm going to clean this off because it's... And then again, just make sure you don't have any of your strings in here. So we don't want any strings. And then we're going to put it down. Now this one, again, you want to make sure on the other ones, I didn't pay too much attention, but if you want this like exactly up here, if you want it a little bit off center, I mean, it really doesn't matter. All right, make sure she is in there. All right, let's try a tile. I think we did it. I think we did it. We did it. Okay, let me get this stuff out of the way and I'll show you all the different inserts so you can see how it works. I'm gonna get these out of the way just so I have some room. And again, these are some of the little flowers that you have. So you could take like, I don't know if you wanted to, like you could do the opposite and put these up in here, or even like do a little flower accent right there. How cute is that? I don't know. You know, I'm looking at that saying I should have done it. But they're the stars from this one, or the flowers from this one. So if you get the 2-pack, or no, they're the flowers from the frame. Sorry. They're the flowers from the frame. So they're not in here, but if you get the frame and you want to like add those, and I'm feeling like we should add them. All right, I might add them after because I don't know what color I'm gonna do them, and that's gonna stress me out. But know that when you see a picture of these, they're gonna be added in there. Okay, so then we have our toppers, right? So with the toppers, you're just gonna slide the topper in here. And so again, these are still drying, so we gotta be really careful not to move anything. But they just slide right in the top. So like for that one, and for this one, like they just go right in there. But what I wanted to show you is I have got a stack here of all of the things. So I wanted to show you, these are the spring toppers that we had. So even if because a lot of you already have the spring toppers, you can just put them in here. Like I actually think this one would be, because this pulls in all of the colors. So this is the spring topper with the ladybug in there. And then this is the other spring topper. So it allows you to, let's put some tiles in there because they look naked. Let's do that one. And then the tile I thought would be cute with this one. So this is transfers. This is rice paper with a transfer over it. This one is decoupage. So again, this just kind of shows you how you can mix, match, layer, do all. Actually, let's do this one. And you can mix and match all of your little different sayings or your different pop and swap tiles that you already have. So fun. I really like this one together. I feel like it's, you remember we used to have like Barbie dolls and like dressing? I feel like this is the crafting equivalent of like getting to dress your Barbie doll, because you can mix and match and choose anything that you want to do with these. And then also, like we showed before, these will fit in your jar and your watering can as well. So if you this mason jar is really tight on mine. I think I might have had some glue stuck in there, but we can mix and match all of these. The key is to get it centered. There we go. And so now your watering can become, we're planting the seeds of faith, and then we have like our little flowers coming up out of there. So cute. And I think I don't even know. Here's this cute one. Jesus loves you. So sweet. So again, so many different ways that you can mix and match those. Let me get these out of here. These two, the watering can and the mason jar, are still available as well. If you're like, ooh, I didn't get those or I want those, we still have those as well. I do want to show you this one. I will probably clamp it and keep it clamped after we're done. But I wanted to show you all of the different, let me put these out of the way, the different style of tiles we've done over the last year or so, because there's so many ways you can do these pop and swap tiles. This is the square tile. You can buy, one comes with it and then you can get extra. Same with the rounds. One will come with each frame and then we sell them so you can have extra. You can do the front and the back. So you could see on some of those, I was popping them out and there was another design on the back. Like this one, I've done the front and the back. Same with the pop and swap tiles. So I just pulled some ones that I thought would be super cute in here. Ew. Oh, hold on. It shifted. This is what happens when it shifts. Get it in there. So we got to make sure it's solid when it dries. Okay, so I've got this one in here. This is a decoupage napkin, and we put the transfers over it. And then this is a project that we did with the members for a bonus craft night. This is a floral flower and then a transfer set here. So it just kind of shows you how you can make something on the tile go over the frame, and it just gives that extra like zhuzh. So fun. This is one that we did for one of the Tuesday tutorials where we did, this is a printable, then this is fabric. We put a transfer over it. This is actually part of an Amazon box, and then this is a printable as well. So we just kind of layered all of those textures in there. When you do one like this that has anything on it that's lifted up, you can't do the back because obviously it's not going to fit in there. So when you do it that way, you only get the one side. But if you do anything flat like this, you can flip it over and do the back. Like this is one I prepped for something. Then we've also layered some of our cutouts on there. So this one, we've layered the cross on it. This was for Easter that we did, put the transfer on there with some little keys. So again, it's kind of a more dimensional sign. And then this is a simpler one where it is dimensional, but we did a printable. This is a transfer. And then this is one of the cross cutouts that we have. So again, it's one frame that you can switch out the tiles for the seasons. And so you're not just stuck with having to buy a new frame each time. You can just buy the new tiles. So I kind of like to do mine neutral so that I can put all of the different colors in there. But again, it's your style and your decorating what you do. I'm really loving this one. Like, I love that. And then we've also done bows, which let me show you some of the bows that we've done. Now, if I was going to do, I've done magnet bows on it. When we do the magnet, you would actually glue the magnet to your frame, and then you can add the bow. But if you wanted like a permanent bow, same thing. You could just put the bow on there. We've done even this bigger one, which I feel like this one kind of goes like this. So again, you could permanently attach this to your frame. Totally fine. This one, again, is another magnet because one of my frames has a magnet on it. So the reason I like to do the magnet bows is because if you have the one frame and you're switching it out for each season, you can switch out the tile and you can switch out the bow. Like I also have a Christmas bow too. So this pattern isn't necessarily Christmas, but if it was a pattern that I could use for Christmas, I could switch out the bow for Christmas for that. And then I just keep these magnetized to one of my bins over here. And then they're handy. I can swap them out however I'd like. I'm trying to see. I don't think I have any of the magnet ones, the one with the magnet handy. But again, these are just some different ideas where you can have one base and you can switch it out for the season. You can switch it out for the occasion. You can switch it out because you're tired of looking at it and you need a different verse. All of the things. A bunch of these are adorable. These are cute. So flowers. Okay, yeah. So that is a few ideas to get you started with the new Pop and Swap frames. So again, this one is the Mary Magdalene version 2. It also comes with 32 of the small flowers. So all the flowers that we cut out in here, we put in there for you to use for other projects. Again, I'm going to be adding them to this one because I just think that's so cute. I just don't know what color yet. But you can use them on any projects. I like to keep it. These are great when we're always looking for something for the center of a bow. I can see us using these. So cute. So that is the Mary Magdalene. Then we have the two Pop and Swap spring pot frames in the floral. And this one is, I might have to add more glue to that. It's still moving. In the floral, which is this one, or in what we called plain, which is this one. And they are sold either individually or you can buy them as the 2-pack. If you like both of them, it's better to get the 2 packets. You save money that way. Members, also don't forget to use your discount. And then we have the 2-pack of the flowers. And that comes like this. They come together like this. These are on the site. They are in the same product as this one. So members, if you want more of the spring flowers, your discount also works on the spring flowers because the discount is just on the floral toppers right now. So you can get either one at the discount. So if you want to snag more of those, now's a good time. And that is the floral 2-pack. So again, those interchange. Any of the floral inserts will work with any of the mini Pop and Swaps that have the insert in them. We didn't do the insert on the coffee cup. And I'm thinking we should have, but it's okay. It's okay. I love some of the ideas that I've seen with the coffee cup, especially the one where someone, I can't remember who it was, they put it on the Dollar Tree stand, the candlestick. I totally wanted to try that today, and I was going to try that today, and then I remembered we were doing this, and I was like, oh, wait, I can't do that yet. So coming soon because I want to try that as well. So these are available for the month of June. We are cutting to order. After that, we're going to be moving on to a different set. We need to gear up for fall and also Christmas. We're going to have Christmas ones coming out. Christmas ones probably next month. Other things we have in the pipeline, the Advent. The Advent is going to be changing this year, and I have to be careful not to say too much. The members are going to get all the skinny first, but the good news and the bad news, maybe for some of you, it's not going to be ornaments this year. We are still doing the ornament kit, obviously. Those pre-orders, we are still planning on being able to ship those the 1st of July. So if you have a pre-order for the Advent or the ornament transfers or the ornament kit, we should be able to ship those in July. So we're just waiting for them to arrive any day now, and we will get them boxed up. So the Advent, we were planning on originally we were supposed to release it last week, and then we switched gears. And so we have a sample coming to us now. We may release it next week. We may wait 2 more weeks. I'm just trying to decide, because it's hard it's hard for me when I have to be like, okay, put on your imaginations. It's going to be this, when I'd rather at least have something to show you and then kind of put your imagination on how it's going to go. Because we won't have the transfers for it, but we will have the actual thing. And so you're going to have to imagine the transfers on it, but I can kind of mock it up for you once I have the thing. I'm just going to call it the thing for right now. So it's coming soon is all I'm going to say. And it's completely different. I hope you're going to love it. I'm so excited about it. Correct, Carmen. The membership discount works on new releases. So members get first access and new release, first access and 20% off of all new releases. So anything that's in the new release, or we move into a new release again, like we added additional versions of this, then the discount code will work for that. Yes, that's how it works. And then, yeah, I think that's it, you guys. I know it's a ton. I will be back next Tuesday with another fun gifting project. I tell you what it is, but as usual, I don't remember. I think I was going to do, I don't even want to say it. I've got it planned out, written down, but in my head, it went. But every Tuesday, I'm live at 12 p.m. Pacific time for a new project, either using our blanks or our transfers or other ways that you can use the projects and the supplies and the things from us that you already have to create just a different way to create it, so that you always have some inspiration on what you could do next. I also love trying new things. Like tonight we did that layering, or today we did that little layering splatter with our pot to get that texture, and I'm absolutely loving it. So again, I'll be back next Tuesdays at the same time, same place. Members, I will be touching base with you probably in the next 7 days or so with what's going on with the Advent. Don't forget, Thursday is bonus crafting night for all members. So that's probably when I'll spill the beans, because I know some of y'all are going to be like, give me all the secrets. So I'll probably spill the beans on Thursday. So make sure you tune into that in the membership group. If you are not a member, we still have tickets available for the June event. We have bonus craft night this Thursday. We have our main crafting event on next Saturday. So still an opportunity to get in. We still have some kits available if you do decide to join us, and you will have access to all the replays as well. So for those of you that are like, oh, I already missed half the month, don't matter. All the replays are there. The community's there. The fun's still going on. So you didn't miss nothing. But I will see members on Thursday, everyone else next Tuesday. And until then,